Hello and welcome to The Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm George Szamuely. With me today, of course, is co-founder of The Gaggle, Peter Lavelle, host also of RT's talk show, Crosstalk. Well, Peter, the European Union has found an immigration issue that it can really get its mind around. The tiny state of Lithuania, which is a member state of the EU, has raised a bitter complaint against its neighbor, Belarus, which is not a member of the EU, claiming that Belarus is allowing, indeed maybe encouraging, illegal migration from Belarus into Lithuania. Migration on the part not of Belarusians, which Lithuania might actually quite like if they're political opponents of Lukashenko, but no, they are people coming from exotic countries such as Iraq and Syria and Iran and Afghanistan. and Lithuania is demanding assistance from the European Union. They want help with building a border wall. The United States has also expressed its solidarity with Lithuania and said, you need a border wall because—
Build that wall!
Build that wall, that's they're saying. And of course, it's Lithuania is demanding another round of sanctions against Belarus for encouraging this flow of migrants. Now, there are several aspects to that because in the first place, if it is the case that Belarus is just simply, throwing up its hands and it's not doing anything to stop the flow of migrants into Lithuania, then you could say, well, that's a consequence of a very hostile policy that Lithuania has been pursuing towards Belarus. It's become the center of anti-Lukashenko protests, anti-Lukashenko coup plotting. And you can see why, Belarus said, well, why should we help you out with this migrant flow? The other aspect of it is that, again, we go back to the EU, NATO, and its policies in North Africa and the Middle East, all of which have created the migrant flow. Not to mention, of course, going back to the 2015 and the Angela Merkel's famous welcoming mat for migrants. Russia's position is that, hey, we've been talking about the problem of human trafficking for donkey's years. We said, yeah, it's a big problem for Russia, for Belarus, for European Union. We should sit down and try to work out a parameter for mutually solving this problem. But every time we've done this, the Europeans have just basically given us the finger. We don't want to have any stinking talks with you. So now they got themselves into this problem. They're throwing more accusations at Belarus, more sanctions. Well, how is that going to solve this migrant problem? Peter, what's your take?
Well, it'll the only problem it'll solve is that you said it, you wrote it, then you had a beer, okay? And that's about the level of satisfaction we'll get from it. Let's look at what Mr. President Lukashenko has to say about this. This is from the BBC. If some think that we will close our borders with Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Ukraine and become a camp for people fleeing, listen, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Libya, and Tunisia, they are mistaken. He went on further saying, we won't hold anyone. They are coming not to us, but to the enlightened, warm, and cozy Europe.
And you can see the
you can see the grin.
Lukashenko's voice dripping with sarcasm. But of course, that's absolutely right. I mean, these people are coming into the country not because they want to stay in Belarus. They want to go into the European Union, just as in 2015, the people were going into Hungary, not because they wanted to go into Hungary, but they wanted to move on to luscious climes in Germany.
Let me repeat some of the countries, just to add emphasis here. Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya. What do they all have in common? Well, I guess maybe they speak Arabic. Okay, that's one thing. But they are targets of regime change by NATO countries. and countries like Lithuania that are part of NATO.
Right.
So what comes around goes around, folks. Okay.
That's right. So
And they build that wall. Well, fine. If they want to build a wall, that's fine. But I think the U.S. should build a wall too. Okay.
Right.
And Merkel's greatest legacy will be 2015. That's what she will go down in history for. Not a good thing to be remembered for, George. Okay.
And it led to
blaming Lukashenko.
And it led to Brexit. I mean, without 2015 and Merkel, there would have been no Brexit. I mean, what happened in Britain was a direct reaction against that. I mean, the vote would have gone the other way. So that is her legacy. She lost Britain from the EU. But the question then is this: why should Belarus play the good sport and prevent these people from leaving the country because, well, we must make sure to help out Lithuania, we must help out Poland and the rest of the EU. Why should they? They say, well, look, they don't do anything for us. Why should we do anything for them? Why should we have these people here? Bump, go, have a good time. I mean, so, they're expecting cooperation from Belarus when all they do in return is just impose more sanctions.
Well, this is the hypocrisy of neoliberalism, okay? You have to help us, but because you are an unredeemable, backward-looking, anti-democratic, autocratic country, you don't deserve any help. Right. That's exactly, it's always one way with these people. It's always one way. Because, well, George, you don't pass the purity test, okay? Right. Oh, but we won't mention the how Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia treat their Russian ethnic minority inside the European Union. So you want to talk about civil rights and immigration and all of that? Well, we could pick a bone with you too. Oh, and by the way, why do you let these Nazi Waffen-SS parade around every year? People would like to know, okay? Oh, we don't want to question your values now, do we? Okay, they're just rank hypocrisy. I mean, what we need is a very, very serious conversation about immigration and how to have, reverse the thinking of Merkel, okay? Because this is the cause of so many problems here. And, and not that I'm against people looking for a better life. I am not. I can understand why these people would do this. But George, maybe if you don't bomb their country, they might not move. Right. I'm just saying.
Well, that's right. But of course, they may be looking for a better life. But your responsibility as a leader of a European leader is to ensure that the people who are already living in Europe maintain their life, and therefore they won't be maintaining it if, in the face of mass immigration. I mean, we're talking about European countries. These are all often very small countries, have a very distinctive language, culture, history. It can very easily be transformed by even a small scale immigration. I mean, if a country of say 6-7 million, hey, you only need a few thousand to become suddenly a very different country. So it's a very big deal in Europe, and which is why Merkel behaved in such an absolutely irresponsible fashion in 2015.
And it shouldn't be Brussels that makes that decision. If a country like Hungary, where you live, if there is a democratic consensus that we have room for more people, or we want to have this or that, then it has to be up to those people. Right. I find it to be abhorrent that some bureaucrat in Brussels says, "Oh yeah, your quota number is," right. Huh? No, these people live in these countries, and presumably they're proud of their nationality and their country. Why should some faceless bureaucrat decide, no, we're going to change the very fabric of your nation overnight?
Yeah, that's right. And that's why this quota system, when Merkel proposed that, Hungary, the Czech Republic, Poland, they said, no, we don't want any quotas. That's it. We're not taking any. Again, you brought this mess on, which is what they said to Germany. You created this mess. Now you're expecting us to pay for it, and we're not going to do it. And that's what the issue here is. So here we have, Lithuania, which has been pursuing a very hostile policy toward its neighbor. You can hardly say this is in the spirit of good neighborliness, but then you expect Belarus to behave in the spirit of good neighborliness. Well, then Lukashenko says, no, I'm not going to do it. Why should we? Essentially feed, house all these people so that you can enjoy your very nice life in the EU. So, Lithuania's kind of got itself into this mess, but the EU is already now, hair on fire about this terrible, terrible person, Lukashenko.
Oh, yeah, well, they really always need something to be angry about, George, don't they?
Yes.
God. It's like these people like on Xanax or something.
Right.
They're very, very temperamental. Don't they? You can easily trigger them. Okay, but the people that are most easily triggered are the ones that never feel the effects of their very bad, incompetent policies.
Right. Yep.
All righty. Okay, we're on Locals, everyone. So please go to the gaggle.locals.com. George and I are doing a series of Zoom interviews with gagglers, which is a lot of fun. Keep in mind that George is in Budapest, I'm in Moscow. We have a tip jar that I'm always overjoyed to see it overflow. Buddy keeps his eye on it very, very closely. So does George, actually. Any help you can provide us would be very much welcome. And hopefully this week, and I'm knocking on wood right now, the Gaggle store will be open.
And the Gaggle store will have lots of excellent items. I mean, we've seen some of the designs. They're really great designs, wonderful things like sweatshirts, T-shirts, mugs, really, really beautiful stuff. And, we would very much appreciate it, if you can purchase as many as you can. A mug for every day, a mug for breakfast, a mug for lunch, a mug for dinner,
And a mug for everyone in your family.
Exactly. They're all beautiful. We're also on Rumble. Look us up on Rumble. And remember, if you like the Gaggle, please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.